Hello, I am Mia Trigg from Unhurried. I am a trust technique practitioner and I help people and their animals to overcome problem behaviors. This video is the second one in a series about two cats called Buddha and Luka. They have been living together for 4 years but needed to be kept separate at all times because otherwise Buddha assaults Luka. In the first video of this series, you watched snippets of Buddha and Luka getting acquainted with the trust technique during our first session. Their human then practiced daily with each of them, still being kept separate, for a week to get the hang of it. Then we stepped it up, and in preparation for our next session, for the next 2.5 weeks, she used the trust technique to help each cat feeling calm and settled in a crate. Then came my second visit on February 24th, 2023, 3.5 weeks after our first session. By then, both cats were familiar with and accepting of being in a crate. I knew we were ready for the next step, having them in the same room, still each in their own crate. The human, however, felt quite nervous because she remembered her own previous attempts of trying to get the two cats used to each other, where she also had each of them in a crate, but everyone then was just stressed out and upset, and it had felt like an utter defeat. And there were also feelings of guilt for having put them through such a stressful experience. We had a good conversation about how this time was different because of what was missing the last time, a way to effectively help her cats back to a more peaceful inner state should agitation arise. Also different was that she had done the prep work to familiarize each cat with being in a crate. We discussed that it was important that she was very mindful of her own inner state while we put the cats together in the same room, and that in case she felt completely overwhelmed with anxiety at any point or any other big feelings, to voice that and we would take a break so she could self-regulate. Otherwise, her cats might be ill-affected by it. Animals and people share feelings, and when we work with the trust technique to help animals overcome problem behaviors, we are doing this via co-regulation. Just like the emergency instructions on an airplane go when talking about what to do in case of loss of cabin pressure, you put an oxygen mask on yourself first before you put one on anyone depending on you. So it's the same when working with a dysregulated nervous system. In order to be able to help someone else to feel safe again via co-regulation, we ourselves need to be in a regulated state first. Self-regulation before co-regulation. In the first 2 clips of the video, you see Luka, he's the older cat, settling in his crate. Kira, the husky, joined us too. You see Luka is quite relaxed, he's grooming himself and then slowly settling. Once Luka was settled, his human brought Buddha into the room. The crates are standing a few meters away from each other. We can see Luka's response to Buddha's arrival. He sits up and calmly has a look. The past animosities between the two cats were always initiated by Buddha, the cat in the crate covered by the mint-colored sheet, so we were curious to see how he would respond. So you can see that he was alert but not over the top, and there was no hissing or other vocalization. Luka feels safe enough to settle down once more and just observe Buddha from his crate. His muscles are loose, his head is still, his whiskers are in a calm position away from his face, and his tail is still and relaxed. Buddha's tail is moving in an aroused way, and he's watching Luka, but he's also still able to take in what else is happening around him. He's not locked in a death stare. Even though he is not as settled as Luka, Buddha is not highly agitated. The human was so relieved to see how well both cats coped with the whole situation. It was very anticlimactic, such a contrast to what the human had feared based on her past experience, and such a testament to the great groundwork she had laid with her daily trust technique practice leading up to this day. Luka was in this relaxed state throughout the whole 20 minutes or so that we had them together in the same room. Here you see how they both choose to be at rest in their own space.